Let's get back to our top story. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin says he's optimistic that there will be a deal with China that would avoid the imposition of tariffs ordered by President Trump. And that comes after the U.S. leader announced measures against China worth at least $50 billion as punishment for alleged intellectual property theft.
We're simultaneously having negotiations with the Chinese to see if we can reach an agreement. As the president has said, we want to cut the trade deficit $100 billion over the next year. We want to eliminate forced joint ventures, forced technology, and we're having very productive conversations with them. I'm cautiously hopeful we reach an agreement, but if not, we are proceeding with these tariffs.
Let's bring in Bloomberg editor Jodi Schneider for more on this. Jodi, both sides are getting a bit of a feel about what they can and they can't do. There's no existing playbook or rule book. What could come next then in this spat?
Well, this is part of the Trump playbook, as you note, to talk tough, to make very bold pronouncements here, the $50 billion in proposed tariffs. But then to say, well, let's see, we may not need to do them. So the steel tariffs, the steel and aluminum tariffs have already been announced. But even there, they kind of walked back some of those. They exempted some countries, obviously not China from those, but they exempted some countries. So that's sort of an indication that, well, we might soften the blow. And then we have the Treasury Secretary making it very clear that they may be willing to do that. So these were announced in terms of proposals, and the list hasn't even been drawn up yet. The same on the China side, it sounds like, that they have a list. They've said, here are the things that we are going to put tariffs on, but theirs was a measured response as well. So it sounds like both sides are dipping their toe in the water, saying, tough language, and then we may go ahead with these, but we may not. Let's see what you do. So it looks like there will be a lot of back and forth over the next 60 days.
Yeah, it's all about putting America first. Jodi, I want to turn our attention to the Russian story. Our sources say that Trump is planning to follow Theresa May's lead and expel Russian diplomats from the United States. I mean, what's this going to do for the special relationship? The title of our story this morning is that Trump tightens the screws on Putin, but says he wants to get along.
Yeah, so President Trump has obviously been very slow to take any action against Russia, and obviously has been criticized for that. And now with the Mueller investigation entering a new phase, it is viewed by the administration that they have to do something. And expelling the diplomats, he is expected to announce in the next day that they will be expelling dozens of Russian diplomats from Washington. That's one way to do it, to send a signal that we're paying attention, we are supporting our allies in the UK, but at the same time, it doesn't necessarily go beyond that. But a lot of this is viewed by people on Capitol Hill, as well as analysts, as being very slow to react, that President Trump is finally reacting with regard to Russia.